Chhotu.in, an e-commerce last-mile logistics provider, was founded last year by Navneet Singh and Aadhar Aggarwal. Both Navneet and Aadhar wanted to change how e-commerce delivery is conducted. They founded Chhotu.in, which is today backed by global super angels that includes investors like Vijay Shekhar Sharma, Rajesh Sahni, Deep Kalra and other prolific investors. Currently, Chhotu is working with over 40 top brands that includes players like Snapdeal, Yebhi, Redbus, Zivame and many more. It is clocking 12 lakh GMV per month on any given day and is looking to become a 100 crore company in the coming 3 years. We have with us Aadhar Aggarwal, Chief Operating Officer of Chhotu.in.
Thanks Aadhar for joining us at VC Circle. Our viewers are very curious to know that how does an e-commerce logistics company work, since e-commerce is all about logistics. So why don't you tell us what you do and how you do it?
Right. So, Sonam, actually the way we do e-commerce logistics is completely aligned to e-commerce logistics. So we didn't start with the fact that we are a logistics company and now let's go and target e-commerce. We rather started with the fact that let's build something exciting for e-commerce. And we saw this huge opportunity in the logistics space, which we went out and captured. So we work quite differently from a typical logistics company. We incentivize people differently. We focus much more on the customer of the e-commerce company. So one example of that, for example, is that we have an in-house customer call center, which only speaks to the customer of the e-commerce company, right? We build differently. So if you as an e-commerce company, for whatever reason, the transaction doesn't get completed, you pay me a lot less for taking ahead that shipment and trying to deliver it. So these are just a few examples of how we are different from other logistics companies. Essentially, we took e-commerce. We said that this is what e-commerce needs to get successful in India, and we said that we'll go after this market.
So Chhotu started earlier this, it's I guess some 9-10 months old?
It's slightly older than that, it's around 12 to 13 months old.
So how has it grown from that time to now? How many companies are you dealing with now? How many brands are there?
Right, so one thing is that instead of me delivering stuff, I'm actually speaking to you. So that is a huge growth. In terms of the number of brands that we are working with, around 40 e-commerce companies. This includes your bigger players, like it includes Yebhi, it includes Zivame, it includes FirstCry. We are about to start with a couple of other bigger players like Redbus. We are also working with Snapdeal, for example. And then there are a lot of smaller e-commerce companies, people who are still not funded, people who are still, just coming up with their own niche in the sector. In terms of revenue, we have actually had stellar growth. So we have grown in double digits month on month, and double digits growth is commendable. Even if you get it in a year, we have continued to do that over and over, month on month, and we are currently at a run rate of around 12 lakhs a month. And this was zero around 13 months back. So we plan to continue this double digit growth going ahead.
So in terms of expansion, when I earlier spoke to Chhotu, you were in the process of setting up warehouses which you could rent to e-commerce companies. Right. How is that coming along?
Right. So we have done a few pilots with a few smaller companies. What we have realized is that the offering has to be slightly deeper. It has to be deeper for it to start making sense for a bigger e-commerce company. We are typically last mile delivery players. We are only handling the e-commerce shipment between the final customer and the e-commerce company's warehouse. Our pilot has been successful, but what we have realized is that in order to take it to the next level, wherein we can offer a completely integrated solution, it will still take us probably another 5 to 6 months of experimentation and of reaching some definite scale.
So probably it will be kind of on a hold right now, and then you're looking at a 360-degree end-to-end solution. Right.
So we are currently probably, I won't say it's on hold, I would say it's more in stealth mode.
And in terms of expansion physically, you have a warehouse in Delhi.
Right.
And in what other cities do you have?
So we are currently in Delhi. We are in Delhi, Noida, Gurgaon. We are in Chandigarh, Tri-City, and we are in Bangalore. So again, over the next 7 to 8 months, we'll be first going to probably the bigger cities of India and capture about 80 to 85% and be in markets which are around 80 to 85% of the overall e-commerce market.
And what is your status on the next round of funding?
Right, so that's a good question. And even though we love our investors, but our motto is that we are not building this company to sell it out. Right, we are building this company to actually create genuine value for us, for the shareholders, for the stakeholders like the partners, like our employees. And therefore, rather than just going haywire with funding, we have been advised by our current set of investors that we should first get the product right, which we have done very well over the past 6 months. And now over the next 4 to 5 months, we'll be raising our Series A round. We're talking to a few funds, but the conversation is it's at a very preliminary stage.
So Chhotu, as you say, has been growing at a very good growth, very good pace it is gaining. So would you say that you could look at break even anytime soon? I think
we should. There is no reason that we won't break even in another 3 to 4 months. And I'm talking at a company level. Okay. And this is the way we have grown our business. We could have taken the other route wherein we could have consumed a lot of funding and probably just expanded without getting the fundamentals right. But we said that let's go out there and build an Indian business which is solid in its fundamentals, which generates money at the end of the day, which ensures that there's a viable, sustainable model to be built out here, and which matches the aspirations of all our stakeholders.
Okay. And you just told us that you're doing around 12 lakh orders a day. 12
lakh revenue. So this is our monthly revenue. In terms of the cash that we collect on a daily basis, it hovers around 6 to 7 lakhs a day. Okay. So we are collecting somewhere around 2.5 crores a month.
Okay. And what about the number of orders that you're doing a day?
So currently our traction is around 1000 to 1200 orders. And we are planning to again ramp it up. There is adequate demand in the market. A lot of our current partners, right from Snapdeal to FirstCry to Zivame, they're just exploding. And with the festive season around, we believe that this growth is just going to continue in upwards of probably 30%. And what gives me a lot of confidence is when I go and talk to these e-commerce companies now, especially I'm just talking about my partners, I can't say this for everybody, but businesses have started focusing on getting that customer, retaining that customer, making money out of that customer. So all of these businesses now are much more viable, are much more sustainable. I agree that their cost of customer acquisition hasn't come down that much as yet, but the repeat clientele is absolutely wonderful. And that is what helps us as a business also, and that is what makes us believe much more in the overall idea of e-commerce in India.
Okay, so what are your hiring plans? How big a team it is right now?
So right now we are around 140 people across India. This includes obviously the people who come and deliver with us. Again, hiring would go as per our growth. So we would continue to hire in double digits as a percentage of our previous month's workforce. One difference vis-a-vis other courier companies or vis-a-vis other logistics companies is our focus on tech, which gives us a lot of leverage in terms of allowing us to hire less people to get more work done. So the metrics of per person efficiency have actually scaled up very well. And that was our initial assumption, that with volume or with scale, the per person efficiency will be much better, and which will allow us to be much more profitable on a per transaction basis.
Would you be able to share if you know that what is your average transaction value as of now?
So our average transaction value is pretty much in line with what e-commerce's average transaction value is today, and that also has grown at quite a good clip. It's currently around 1,000 rupees, and when we started out, it was around 500 to 550 rupees.
Okay. And who would be the competition?
Alright, so a lot of people really think twice before saying this, but I'm kind of bullish, so I'll say no one. Because this market is absolutely huge. If there are 20 other players out there today who, let's say, start today and reach whatever scale we have reached in the next 2 months, the market would still be huge. And it's not because this is a miracle or something. It's just because the fundamentals of the business, of the e-commerce business, are huge, and this market is still not big enough for the traditional courier companies. So their level of interest, their level of motivation, also I would say that their ability to move fast is something which gives us a huge advantage. So for the next 2 years at Chhotu, we can continue to grow double digits month on month, and we can continue to grow our revenues month on month, such that we could probably reach somewhere around 100 to 150 crores in top line, yearly top line, probably in another 2 years time.
Okay. And what is your view on companies like Flipkart and Jabong managing their own logistics? How does that change the market?
So first of all, I totally understand why Flipkart decided 2 years back that they would want to do this on their own. I would have probably taken the same decision. What I regret is I should have started this thing 3 years back, because then I would have been their biggest vendor and I would have been doing 40,000 transactions for them. Having said that, logistics is as a business, it's not something that you can do as an add-on. And I continue to maintain that, even though Flipkart today is doing, and Flipkart, Jabong, AV, they are doing most of their own logistics. And we speak to all of them, and they are very supportive of what we are doing, and they also acknowledge that they had no alternative. Once again, the market is huge. Having said that, in another 2 years' time, we see a lot of these players finding comfort in diverting their shipments to us. Because we'll be able to offer them the geographical reach that they want. We'll be able to offer them the pricing that they want to make it viable for them, and we'll be able to prove to them our level of alignment. So what is most important for a e-commerce company? That the cash that is collected today should come into my bank account the same day. I can do that, right? Anything that these guys think that they can do by themselves, I can do it 10 times better. And it's not an arrogant statement. It's all I'm trying to say is that this is my business, this is my area of expertise. That's why I can do it better than them. I can't sell gadgets better than them, because that's their core area of business and that's their expertise.
And what are the challenges of being in this segment?
So just like any Indian business, and again this sector per se is not that challenging, but the factors we face are pretty generic, which are generic to the Indian economy, which is getting good people on board. It's a challenge to get quality people on board. It's a challenge to retain people after you have made them quality people. We although have done a good job of it, our attrition rates are the lowest in the logistics industry, and this I can put on record. But the challenge will be that today we are a 140 people team. In about 2 years time we'll be probably a 20,000 people team. Can we continue to find those quality people and not just become a run-of-the-mill solution?
And you were saying that you're looking to expand to bigger cities now.
Right.
But what about, like you were saying, tapping the market that the others cannot tap, like the tier 3, tier 4 cities even. So
right.
Are you looking at that?
Right. So as a business compulsion, you have to go first where the market is. So today 85% of the market is in probably the top 15 cities. As a business decision, although I'll continue to go into a few of the tier 3, tier 4 cities, but over the next couple of years, I'll first go to the 85% market. And then the market will also start to move towards this tier 3 and tier 4 cities. So today you see a 85-15 split, tomorrow you might see a 60-40 split, right? India is a huge country. There's a lot of opportunity. 85% of the opportunity is concentrated in certain pockets. That is where we are going. That is where we are going towards right now. Over the next 5 years, so as a 5-year plan, we'll probably be across 95% of the market, and that is a huge number. So at that time, e-com transactions would be somewhere around 800,000 per day, or even more than that, and we see ourselves doing anywhere between 20 to 30% of that market.
But in e-commerce, doesn't it work the other way around? Like if you do not have a delivery process in place, then e-commerce companies won't go there. So won't the delivery people have to go there first?
Right. So actually, I agree that it's a bit of a chicken and egg story, but thankfully, because of the reach of the internet, the average consumer today, first of all, has an option to buy. He can go on to a Fashion India and a Flipkart and an Urban Touch and he can buy. There is infrastructure to get it delivered to him. I agree that it's pathetic, but there is in 10 days you will get your stuff. Even if you start getting 20 orders a day in such cities, I can go in there and I can be viable. That's the beauty of our model. It's an asset light model. So a lot of people can't digest it. That I and with my co-founder only put in about 1.5 lakhs when we started this business, and we have made it into this bigger business. So business viability is what is not allowing us to be in a lot of these smaller centers today. Having said that, in 1 year's time, once we are generating enough cash through our in-house operations in the bigger cities, then it immediately starts making viability. So I can go to a Panipat, I can go to Sonipat, I'm talking about Delhi. I can go to a place like Udhampur, which is close to Jammu. But obviously I'll have to go to Jammu first. So that is the plan.
And what is your revenue model? I mean, is it a customized revenue model, or how does it work?
So we have still not bucketed it properly. It's still a bit of a customization based model, But the idea is that we act as partners. So let's say if Sonam tomorrow decides to sell shoes online, and initially gets only 5 orders a day, we'll charge you a price which will not kill you. Point A. Point B, we'll share your loss if the transaction doesn't go through. So let's say if I deliver it successfully, I charge you 50 rupees. If for whatever reason the customer denies to take it now, I'll only charge you 10, 15, 20 rupees. Over the next couple of quarters, the absolutely wonderful thing that we are going to launch is that if the shipment gets delivered, I charge you money.
Okay.
If it doesn't get delivered, I charge you absolutely zero money.
Okay.
So now you can go ahead and say, wow, these guys are actually acting as my partners because they are sharing my loss and they are sharing my profits.
Okay. So do you charge them on a monthly basis or on a a minimum number of orders basis? How does it work?
So this is what makes us the darling of startups. We don't require you to have a minimum number of orders.
Okay.
Right? You can start with 1 order a month. A Blue Dart would ask you to give you a minimum billing of 1 lakh. No, somebody who has started up last year, I understand this is not possible. It's not possible right from the beginning. We charge on a monthly basis currently. We are looking at ways to innovate around that. But having said that, currently it's a straightforward model, irrespective of whether you're doing 1 or 1 lakh.
Okay.
We'll come ahead. We'll come and we'll charge you on a monthly basis, and it's a per transaction revenue model.
Okay. And lastly, what I'm really curious to know from the starting is why is the name Chhotu?
Right. When we started the business, we did a smallish online survey wherein we had 10-20 names.
Okay.
And some of them liked Suvidha, some of them liked ABC Logistics. But we said that here's a name which sticks, which every Indian would understand.
Yeah.
So 6 months down the line, everybody will forget my face, will forget my name, but they'll remember, yaar, Chhotu se ek banda hai. So it's a lot of free marketing. It's something which is already there in the Indian psyche, and it's cute. So it really gets people excited. Arey yaar, Chhotu kya hai? Chhotu kya hai? And they come to our website and they give us all this.
But what if you venture abroad? Then won't it?
It's still a cute name. Okay. So imagine a French guy saying, yaar, I ordered something from Chhotu. I don't know French, so probably imagine an American that I ordered something from Chhotu. It's so small, it just sticks. So rather than going Jai Lakshmi Logistics, we said that let's go with Chhotu. It's a new age name for a new age company.
Great. Thank you for talking to us.
Thank you so much. Thanks a lot.